My name is James Griffin. I'm an independent music artist focusing on vibey beats fronted by complex guitar lines. Today I'm going to be going over some essential tips to help you stay motivated as an independent artist and also how to make the most out of your content. I'll also be showing you some of my own tracks to show the kind of things that I make and release. The first thing I want to talk about is how to maintain motivation by setting monthly goals. For me, goal setting is one of the key elements of my motivation. Being independent means you have no boss telling you what to do. It means you have to make your own schedules and ensure you are putting in the work to get the outcome that you desire. If you don't have a goal or plan in mind, then finding the motivation can be very hard. The first step to this would be to find a handful of goals that are achievable within a month's time. Some examples of my own include tabbing out a single for Patreon along with the backing track and the tone preset. Another one would be to film a full guitar playthrough that can go on YouTube. A third goal for me is to upload 3 high quality Instagram videos. Another one would be to write a blog post for Patreon. And then lastly would be to make a start on a new single so then I can continue that next month. Some other examples that you could use could be to start a new track for an EP. This can be a simple riff or idea. Film and upload 3 high quality videos to Instagram or Facebook. Learn a new technique and make an idea with it. And another one, social media based goal, could be to gain 50 plus followers within the month. I find having a list in front of me makes work a lot easier as I know exactly what I need to be working on. Ticking off each goal also gives you a feel of satisfaction and it makes you feel like you're actually progressing as opposed to not being unsure with what you're doing or where you're going. Setting monthly goals is just for maintaining your motivation, but you can set even bigger goals over a long period of time. The key to this is finding a goal that isn't too small and isn't too big. If it's too small and too easy to achieve, then you won't get any kind of satisfaction or feeling of accomplishment from it. Whereas if the goal is too big, then the journey getting there may be too long and then you'll lose motivation on the way. You want to find a goal that is just in between, a goal that requires you to put the work in but isn't too hard to achieve, so you will still get some sense of achievement. One of my own goals, which is a good example of this, was to get endorsed by a brand. I knew this wouldn't be too difficult as I had upped my quality online and the numbers had started coming up. I was also using the brand's guitars, which helped a lot. This still wasn't an easy mission though, and it still required me to put in a lot of work. The goal was in sight though, which kept me motivated over the period of a few months, and I knew for a fact that it would feel incredibly rewarding once I've achieved it. Another thing I would like to talk about is the quality of the content itself and how it can impact your social media. The quality of your content can actually go a really long way. Not only does it make your page look better, but it also makes you look more professional and it would be more appealing to brands, other artists and potential customers. Think about the things you're uploading and if it's relative to you as an artist. This can also depend on how open you want to be with your audience. Sometimes showing your personal life can allow your audience to feel more connected to you as an artist as opposed to just showing your professional side. But it is important to ensure that your professional content is crisp and clean. There are a few ways that you can improve the quality of your content. One of them being your recording equipment. Most phones these days actually have high quality cameras, so an actual camera isn't that necessary at this point. But focus on things such as the lighting and angle. If you are filming with a guitar, then make sure you have the full guitar in shot and you focus on the place where your hands predominantly are on the fretboard. One other thing to note is that you don't have to record a video in one take with one angle. You can clip different angles together providing you're using recorded audio and not camera audio. Using recorded audio of a track is also another way to make your content more appealing. It gives your audience a better picture of your track rather than the vaguer sound of camera audio. Combining the visuals and the audio isn't as complex as it seems. It can be done on free software such as iMovie and is fairly easy to pick up. The aim is to sync up the audio to the video. You can either match this up visually by looking at what you are playing on the fretboard and matching it with the part of the song, or you can do it with your ear by matching the sound of the recorded audio to the sound of the camera audio and matching it with the song. The aim is to sync up the audio to the video. You can either match this up visually by looking at what you are playing on the fretboard and matching it with the part of the song, or you can do it by ear by matching the sound of the recorded audio to the sound of the camera audio. The next thing I want to talk about is social media. One of the main things that is essential these days is your social media, especially being an independent artist. This is where the quality of your content also plays a big part. If you're going down the route of being independent, then your social media will be one of the main things you want to focus on. This is where you can gain new listeners and also create new opportunities, as your social media is basically a portfolio of your work. Now, knowing that the overall quality of your workflow plays a part, you can now focus on uploading cleaner clips of your ideas. The cleaner your page looks, then the more likely people will follow you after visiting your page. Now, knowing that the overall quality of your workflow plays a part, you can now focus on uploading cleaner clips of your ideas. The cleaner your page looks, the more likely people will follow you after visiting your page. Having a professional looking page will also be very appealing to brands. Brands will also be interested in how many views you are pulling, and if you are upping the quality of your content, then the views will be coming up anyway. To get on a particular brand's radar, be sure to tag them in posts and in your stories. I personally found it easier to own a product from them first, as it shows interest in the brand. Try not to go too overboard, as it could come off as naggy. Just try to keep it on a professional level. Another thing to note is hashtags. From personal experience, I've found hashtags to be very hit and miss. Sometimes I'll upload a video with no hashtags and it will get more views than videos with hashtags. Including hashtags means that people with interest in those specific tags would be more likely to see your content, especially now that Instagram allows you to follow tags. For example, if you hashtag guitar, then you'd show up on that hashtag. But the flip side to that is there's a lot of people tagging guitar, probably millions, so it's a lot less likely that you'll show up on people's pages with that tag. So what I try and do is I try and mix up the tags with more niche hashtags. So I like to put a mixture in there. So for example, for me, I would put 8-string guitar as a hashtag, because I know a lot of people still view it, but it's not overboard, so I'm more likely to be seen on there. How frequent you post is another thing that you'd want to play around with. When I was videoing a lot more frequently back in the day, I would try and post 3 times a week. I feel like 3 times a week is a very good number to aim for. It's definitely on the high end, and it means you're going to have to pump out a lot of content. However, it means you're going to be more active online and your audience will stay engaged as well. As opposed to posting once a month, then people will lose interest and probably unfollow. You can also break up your posts with photos. So recording 3 high quality videos a week can be quite a lot, and especially if you're trying to pump out the content. You might get things like writer's block, etc. So you can say upload pictures of your gear or you in a studio, just to break up the videos and still keep your audience engaged. Show them that you're working on new things. Or going back to connecting with your audience and showing your more personal life, you could break it up with things that you're doing outside of work. In this final topic, I would like to talk about being a diverse musician and basically the importance of dipping your hands in as many pies as you can, and making as many potential income streams as you can. The most dwelling thing about being an independent artist is how you're going to make an actual income from doing what you do. Obviously, the first thing that will come to your head is the music itself, but realistically speaking, unless you're hitting 1 million+ plays, then you're probably not going to be making a comfortable living from streams alone. Another thing you'd want to think about is if you could make any kind of product from your music. So for example, if you're primarily a guitarist like myself, you can make guitar tabs, sell them on sites such as Bandcamp. This was my first kind of breakthrough of kind of making some kind of money as opposed to just Spotify streams. Even if you're not a guitarist, say you're a producer, you could make sample packs and sell those. You can even do guitar lessons, singing lessons, whatever it is you play, you can do lessons. That's a great way for another stream of income. Another great platform which is great for independent artists is Patreon. So it's essentially a subscription platform where you can set different tiers for different prices. So for example, you could sell guitar tabs for say £5. You could do one-to-one lessons for £30, and then anything in between that you can think of selling. And it's just a great way of putting out exclusive material for your core supporters. Obviously, your core supporters are the bread and butter of everything. Another great site which gives artists the majority of the cut is Bandcamp. So you can put your albums and releases on there to download. You can also put merch on there. So merch is another thing to think about. So t-shirts, posters, stickers, all things like that for when you're doing gigs. but you can put merch on Bandcamp and people can buy it on there. So some examples of my own avenues. Patreon is my main one. So for Patreon, like I said about, you can upload guitar tabs, one-to-one lessons. So when I first started Patreon, I had probably about 8 different tiers, which was a big mistake. As I just kind of spread myself too thin, and then I had to cater to each tier and make a product for each tier, which was too much. So in the end, I ended up scrapping it to just 2 tiers. So right now I have one tier, which is £2, just for access to guitar tabs. So people can learn the stuff that I upload. So all my singles and releases, I would tab them out, make a backing track, also make a tone preset so people can download the tone. And then, they can have access to all of that for £2. And then the higher tier, which is only £5, and that consists of everything that's included on the £2 tier, so guitar tabs, backing tracks, and the tone presets. But the £5 tier also includes blog posts, so I write up just little posts of advice that people can take on board. Also do pre-recorded video lessons, and then I also share patrons' videos to my story, so they can submit videos to me and I'll upload them to my social media to divert some of my traffic to their page. So another few examples of where I have made my income. Teaching was a good one. Also guitar demos or demos for brands. So say for example, amp simulators, I'm doing demos for stuff like that. Guitar tabs is another one, like I said before. Guitar tabs was like my first kind of breakthrough in realizing that there is actually money to be made. And then the other obvious thing is music streams. So as time goes on and you're putting the work in, your audience will build and your numbers will start to go up. So even if you're not getting a lot of streams right now and not making a lot of money from it, it will gradually build as you improve everything else. So like I said before, your social media, your quality of your content, how active you post, it all kind of bundles up into one and they all affect each other. So if you sing, play guitar, drums or piano, then you have the option to turn that into a teaching thing, which is a lot easier to do as long as you have the confidence to do it. You can start off small and then gradually build it and do more classes. You can try it out with friends, someone who hasn't even played the instrument that you're teaching, just to get a feel for it. And then you can go from there and turn it into a bigger thing. Guitar tabs was another thing that kind of made me realise that there's money to be made, even with the kind of stuff that I'm doing. So if you play guitar or even keyboard, you can obviously do notation for most instruments. So with guitar, there's stuff like Guitar Pro. So I actually got that and then started dabbling in that, picked it up fairly quick, and I don't know any music theory myself, so don't be put off by music theory. There's not really a lot involved in it unless you're tabbing super complex things. But it's pretty easy to pick up, so you can pick up softwares such as Guitar Pro. There's a lot of others out there to get you started, and then you can put them out online and people can buy them. It's pretty simple, and you can make some money off it. A final example of an income stream that I can give is demos. So you can do demos for brands if you go down that route. It's definitely a great route to go down. It means you can try all different kind of guitars, different kind of equipment, interfaces, all that kind of stuff. And these days you can get paid for demoing it, providing you have the audience for it. So that's the main thing I think with brands, is that they're going to want to see that you've got some kind of audience, whether that's a live audience or an online audience. So brands can still be interested in you even if you've got no online following. So if you're out gigging every weekend to hundreds of people, that will often be enough for a brand to give you some kind of deal. Whereas the flip side, like with myself, I do a lot of online stuff and barely any gigs, but I have an audience online that will see all my videos, so that's kind of the appealing point to the brands, and that's how it kind of gets started. So making sure you have an audience of some kind. And obviously down that route, that's when you can do demos for them, they can send you products, give you stuff to try out, do videos for. So there are many different routes that you can go down. You've just got to think about your kind of own skill set, what it is that you do and how you can adapt to different things to make as many different pockets of income as you can. Thank you for watching my masterclass. I hope you've learned something today that you can take away and apply to your own work. Be sure to hit me up on Instagram or other social media at Dan James Griffin. Yeah, thanks again.